When you think of the Washington Catholic Athletic Conference, two schools immediately come to mind, DeMatha and Gonzaga. The Stags and Eagles have clashed many times on many fields since DeMatha's founding just after the Second World War. And once again, red, white, and blue clashes with the color purple as DeMatha and Gonzaga meet in the WCAC Boys Basketball Championship. Hello and welcome to Bender Arena, folks. I'm Jeremy Huber, joined by UVA legend Junior Burrow. And Junior, we have a great game tonight. Again, it's two traditional powers.
Absolutely. It's exactly what you want for a WCAC championship game. You got the two powerhouses, the 1 and 2 seed, a capacity crowd. The atmosphere is fantastic. You got revenge on your mind. If you're Gonzaga, you're trying to come out here and show and prove that those two games you played weren't what you were going to do. Now you have the championship game. This is for the money. This is for the big show, bragging rights and everything. You can lose twice and come here and win this game, and you'll forget about those two losses. Yeah, again, a huge one. You see, you watch folks watch the girls' game before this, how happy they were, how excited they were after this game. And by the way, the stands weren't as packed. This one, it is packed in like sardines right now here at Bender Arena on the campus of American University. Let's go ahead and get our keys to the game. We'll start things off with Gonzaga and Junior. Some basic things, but some things that they have to do. Well, absolutely. When you're talking about making free throws, you're talking about rebounding, stopping the break, all those kind of things when you're talking about Gonzaga. DeMatha has talent all over the place. And when you're dealing with those kind of things, you have to do the small things. A lot of times that gets you right in the end of the game. You want to be in this game at the end of the fourth quarter because of what's happened to you in the last two games you played them, but they're blowing you out at home at their spot, and then they come to your place and won. So these are the small things that are going to keep them in this basketball game. Yeah, Steve Turner saying free throws really killed them in the two games they faced off against each other. Of course, on the other side of things for DeMatha, their thing may be a little bit bigger picture when you look at some of the advantages that they have when it comes to depth and transition in that speed and athleticism. Well, when they talk about depth, you're talking about 80% of their season, they had a guy coming off the bench who led them in scoring. I mean, that's just the bottom line of what Mike Jones has been able to do. He has talent all over the place, Division I players, 10th graders, 11th graders. It's just a fantastic program. He's done an absolute great job with this program, especially this year because they've lost so many players. And for them to come back this year just goes to show the depth and the quality of this basketball team and his coaching job. Players to watch in this one, there are plenty. To look at Gonzaga, first off, Brian Crawford. He's the best pure passer I've ever seen. I mean, it's just the bottom line. I've been around the world. I've seen it. I've been in the NBA. He anticipates guys being open. He's one of the best guys I've seen of just making the one-hand pass, full court, and all those things. He's going to be fantastic at Wake Forest. Of course, also to watch in this one will be Sam Miller, the big man in the middle. We always talk about big men. That's one of my favorite positions. He has to come in here and do something that he hasn't been able to do against this DeMatha team, and that's dominate the middle of the lane. He's done it everywhere else. He's done it against the rest of the team. Now it's his turn to do it tonight. Also looking at players to watch, Chris Likes, the minion of a great point guard. Dynamic scorer. I mean, he's going to need to show up tonight. 20-plus maybe in that area. I know he's averaging 13 to 14 points. He's going to have to come out here and be very effective and to get those guys in foul trouble and finish those plays with making free throws, like we talked about earlier. Let's look at DeMatha, their players to watch as well. Of course, the guy who's really blown up, Markel Fultz. Listen, he's the player of the year in the conference. He's fantastic. One of the best pull-up games I've seen since Ron Mercer. Plays in the middle. Just a fantastic kid. He's tall. He's lengthy. He plays defense on both ends of the court. I mean, just a fantastic player. Of course, the other guy got a little more billing coming to the season, the spectacular DJ Harvey. Right, you start looking at these teams and all these other schools that want those guys, Arizona, UMass, all those places, University of Miami. The kid has athleticism. He has a fantastic personality, an engine, a motor, first team all WCAC. I mean, these are the two guys that stir the coffee for this DeMatha team. Yeah, and they do it very well with these two teams. Quickly, let's look at the last meeting between these two teams. They played two very close matchups, or close together, I should say. February 2nd, DeMatha with the 66-61 win over Gonzaga. That one was played right here at Bender Arena. Then on the other hand of things, the next game was played 2 days later. That one was a DeMatha blowout over in their house. We'll quickly take a break for our national anthem.
I'll say this, Junior, when the crowd is cheering in the national anthem, you got a jacked up crowd here at American University.
Man, proud to be in America.
We're looking at some of the things between these two teams. Only all-boys schools in the WCAC. They've been around for a long time. We mentioned the Open. DeMatha established right after World War II. Gonzaga kind of scoffs at that. They've been around since 1821. Let's take a look at our starting lineups in this one. Start off with Gonzaga, the number 2 seed. You see them on your screen. Likes, Crawford, Scott, Greenwood, and Miller. We talked about Likes, Crawford, and Miller, but obviously Greenwood's got a lot of athleticism. He's going to play football at Kentucky.
The thing about it is, and in games like this, when you're talking about the championship, is that it's not always the guys that you have on Star Watch or whatever. He's going to be an important part of this game, whether it be rebounding, defensive play, just the small things that we talked about earlier that Gonzaga's going to have to do, because they're outmatched here on paper. But that's not where we play the game, and we play it in here on the court, and they're going to have to show up tonight if they want to get a chance to win this game.
There's the DeMatha starting lineup: Allen, Fultz, Harvey, Grant, and Bruce. And, of course, a lot of the scoring comes from Fultz and Harvey, but Grant, Bruce, and Allen can all do some very good things.
Right, and that's the thing about it. Those two guys are very unselfish. I mean, Markel and DJ are just some of the best wing players, not only in the WCAC, but in the country. And they make their guys, and Mike Jones has done a great job of getting those guys to facilitate. Don't let their scoring average fool you. These guys can easily go for 20, 25 plus each night if they wanted to.
You got here, of course, these were your results in the WCAC tournament. DeMatha with the first round win over Good Counsel.
Looks like a bye.
Yeah, then a dominating win over St. John's when it comes to defensive end, holding the Cadets to 35 points. On the other side of things, Gonzaga, a close one against St. Mary's Riken in the quarterfinals, then really exerted their will on Bishop O'Connell. A lot of steals, kind of ran out and blew that one open late.
Right. Listen, the best two teams that have played consistently all year are in this game right now, and that's what you want. But the thing that I'm really excited about is that what does Steve Turner going to do with this Mike Jones guy on the other side? A lot of times these games come down to the slightest coaching move, whether it be a zone, a press, or half court, something of that nature. Steve Turner's the best coach in the city of D.C. and the DMV area. He has been for a while. I don't think enough people talk about the fact that he's done more with less than anybody in the entire area, and I'm really proud to know him, and the fact that when I go to his practice, I feel like I learn something every time.
And it's tap one by DeMatha, then a travel is going to go on Markel Fultz. So the WCAC Player of the Year with a little misstep to start the game.
Right, he's been good since the beginning of the season. I'm not even in the play in just their regular season games and in their conference games. He's been good all year, and I can't wait to see this kid.
So DeMatha looking for the icebreaker in this one after DeMatha with the turnover on the first possession of the game. They give it in the big Miller, looking down low, nothing there, stolen away by Fultz, who's going to push the pace.
See, the turnovers early just goes to show, because they know what they have. Like when in a game like this, you play somebody close 3 or 4 times, you already know what they can do and what they can do. But at the end of the day, you're talking about just the best two teams in the league. They can see it.
Shot blocked by Miller there. Fultz again trying for a play, and again, the first possession he travels, second possession gets his shot blocked.
But see, it's going to the basket, it's being aggressive, and that's what you want.
Harvey with the pull-up jumper, air ball. Bruce with the rebound, puts it up, no good. Fight for it, knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with DeMatha.
See, those are the kind of possessions that the Gonzaga has to come up with. Right, you get a good block, you get the ball, and your two guys fumble it out of bounds. Like, you want to get off first, whether it be 2-0 or 3-0, maybe even 1-0. You just want to show them that it's going to be a different than it has been the last couple times you played them.
Terrell Allen, the Drexel commit with it, gives it off to Harvey, and DeMatha recycles through the offense. Of course, we saw them earlier in the season. Allen's jumper, no good. Rebound pulled in by Greenwood. You see the athleticism there, the way he skived for that ball.
Crawford pushes the ball up off the dribble. These are the kind of things that makes him such a dynamic point guard, just finding guys in transition, because it's really only one of the ways they can really score against this basketball team is in the transition side of it.
Miller, a lot of strength down low to push off Bruce and get the score.
Right, just go right to the basket. You're big, you're strong, you're tall. You've had a fantastic season. You're the biggest guy on the court. Just be aggressive. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, asked Coach Turner, I said, hey, you've got a more traditional big man than DeMatha does. You think it's an advantage today? They've got big guys on their own. Shot blocked again by the big guy, and quickly the other way as Likes gets run into, and a foul is going to be called on Markel Fultz.
So the ref lets him out of it. I'm not going to get into the referees. But the bottom line is that this is where Chris Likes has got to develop and become a better point guard once Brian Crawford is going. He needs to look up the court, see the transition game that was about to happen. If he one more pass away, gets them in their transition, and maybe another layup or a foul somewhere else.
I'll tell you what, if you're This isn't for the faint of heart. A lot of people say the WCAC is the best league in America when it comes to high school basketball, and you see some of the physical play already.
Absolutely. You want the referees to let them play, and they're letting them play. It's physical, and it's a college-style atmosphere. But as far as this being the best conference in the country, I'm an Oak Hill guy. We've had this conversation a bunch of times. I can't think of a scenario where there's more talent in basketball played than there is played in WCAC. The guys that made the all-tournament team and the guys who made the all-conference team, those guys are all Division I basketball players, and that's unheard of.
Foul going to be called there, and I think that's going to go on Fultz, I believe.
See, this could change the game. You have the best player in the conference going to sit down after 2 fouls. I mean, this changes the entire capacity, the complexion of the game because of his ability to find other guys and get those other guys open. He has to know that he can't commit a foul right there.
He does. He's going to take a seat probably for a while as Eddie Scott makes that first free throw. He'll shoot a second, looking to put Gonzaga up 4-0, and he does.
Yeah. The hard part about it is the guy that comes in has been leading them in scoring for pretty much most of the year. So you get better offensively with the guy that comes in the game.
And Allen with a nice drive to the bucket to break the ice for DeMatha. You talk about that Darling, you know, he was really shooting it very well early in the season, averaging about 2 3-pointers a game. Shot up, no good. Fight for the rebound. Likes comes up with it. He'll try to dribble out of trouble. Now corner three, that one off the iron, no good. And Harvey thinks about pushing the pace and stops.
See, when DeMatha plays like this, very deliberate, without turning the basketball over, that makes him good.
Greenwood going to take it all the way in, no good. Rebound knocked out of bounds off of Purple. It'll go with DeMatha.
See, this is the kind of pace that Gonzaga wants to play with, but they just got to finish those plays on the break.
You wonder early on because of this crowd. I know they play in such big crowds all the time, but any jitters here?
Absolutely. You're talking about you playing in front of the biggest crowd. Neither one. DeMatha has a pretty big arena. And, you know, they're not the only ones that have one. But at the end of the day, this is for the championship, and everybody knows it. And everybody's here. We're only here because of it being a championship, right? We're calling the game. It's a little bit of jitters, but at the end of the day, if you can just do some of the basic things, you put your team in the best situation, and those jitters go away.
Bruce with the bucket there. Nice pass inside and a nice finish at the rim by Crawford.
See, that's what Chris Likes is going to have to do. Once he gets into the middle of the lane, he over penetrates a lot of times. That's the knack on him. But at the end of the day, he gets into the middle of the lane. He has to start finding people because of his lack of height and all those things, and they're walling up in there. He has to do a better job.
Now Harvey able to get a foul on Miller there, got the big man off his feet, and not only will he go to the line, but he'll put a foul on one of the keys for Gonzaga.
Absolutely. If they lose him to foul trouble, it's going to also change the complexion of the game because we all know Gonzaga has a very good basketball team, but they don't have a lot of depth as far as size. DeMatha has most of that depth on all over the place. Mike Jones can pretty much close his eyes and pick somebody who can really play over on his side, and I don't think Steve Turner can do that.
DJ Harvey coming to this one, an 81% free throw shooter, and obviously that'll serve him well at the next level. The way he can kind of drive to the bucket, has that athletic move and able to score that way as a slasher. He puts the second one down, and now all tied up at 6-6.
And the incredible part about him, he has 2 more years of high school. I mean, just a dynamic sophomore, man. I mean, a great personality, a great kid, athleticism. I can't tell you how good he was as a takeover coach to be able to practice and have this kid on your team. Just a positive outlook and really wants to get better, and that's what you want from your players.
In the corner, 3-pointer, that one up and good for Eddie Scott. So Eddie Scott, the guy who really kind of the unsung of the starting 5, he's got 5 points already, and Gonzaga back out in front.
Right, don't forget about me. That's what Eddie Scott is saying. I'm out here to play, right?
Garland thought about the 3, got kicked in the shoulder, misses, and now Gonzaga going to start the break. Pull-up jumper Likes, that one nothing but the bottom of the net. 11-6 Gonzaga. Harvey going to go up and under, and he will score. A lot of contact. Steve Turner looking for a travel.
I tell you what, though, Miller can't put his arm out there like that, but he can't afford to pick up a second foul in those kind of situations. This pace is right up DeMatha's alley, though. Even though Gonzaga's doing a fantastic job, Chris Likes pulling up, not over-penetrating, getting a really good pull-up, puts them in the right frame of mind. But this Gonzaga team has another couple of guys that are going to come out the bench here that's going to be really effective. There's no turnovers, no turning the ball over if you're Gonzaga. You want to keep the pressure on this team, this DeMatha team, and make them have to guard everybody.
Yeah, it's funny talking to Coach Turner after the O'Connell game, saying, hey, you think about all the turnovers you guys caused here. He said, hey, we don't usually do that, but hey, if it's there for us, we'll do it. They're more methodical a little bit as a team. Want to purchase a copy of this broadcast, get it on DVD or download it directly to your computer. Find out more at DMVSTREAM.com.
Yeah, purchase us. We know what we're talking about. We're having a good time. We'll start talking about food a little bit later. You know, if you want to come in with a couple of recipes or something like that, we do that a little bit on this show, too.
Tell your friends that we're on live right now, though, as the three-pointer, that one is up off the iron, no good by Dredd. And now DeMatha will come back the other way, can tie it up with a three.
Had to shoot it late in the shot clock. It's a good shot for him. He's made a lot of them. But he's one of those young, dynamic kids that Gonzaga have that can come off the bench and be productive.
Nice cut there by Darling and a nice look by Grant. Of course, if you have to ask the question, yeah, it is one of the sons of Harvey Grant, one of the four. He's the last one trying to match up with his brothers who all won WCAC titles at DeMatha.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
Likes on the pull-up, around and off, no good. Greenwood tried for the foul, couldn't get it. Now DeMatha looking to take the lead as Harvey pulls up in the lane, no good, but Bruce with the follow slam.
Like I said, those key guys, those side guys, those parts of the team that you don't really talk about when you do the star watch and stuff like that, Bruce comes up with the fantastic dunk, put back.
And you would have to think he's taking a little personally, going up against Miller, kind of his guy, as Miller is going to get fouled on the way up.
See, Bruce doesn't have to foul him there. His athleticism alone makes him pump fake and double clutch him, because that's one of the things about, and this is the part about Mike Jones as we watch him shoot these free throws. Bruce, to me, wasn't a key part of this basketball team a year ago. And now just with development and their coaching staff and all those other things, he's turned this guy into a player. I mean, he's really a player. Like, he doesn't touch the ball as much as he should, but at the end of the day, this kid here is now Division I, maybe a low Division I basketball player, but his athleticism alone puts him in a higher Division I.
Obviously, he's done some good things. Miller making those free throws there. Bruce committed to Binghamton, though. As you said, he might be able to go a little bit higher.
Free education is a free education. We'll just go with that.
This is true. This is true. Up top. Get it down low. Bruce, a little bit of chicken wing, gets away with it, able to score. And Thomas Bruce has 6, and DeMatha has the lead back.
Let's see how you bring up chicken, and we're not even talking about that right now. I'm trying to stay focused on the game.
Well, we saw that right there.
Right,
kind of use that little hook to kind of pin Miller down, and you know, as a big guy, that sometimes it gets called, sometimes it doesn't.
But absolutely. But a year ago, he couldn't make that move. I mean, that's just the confidence and the coaching that gets him in the gym working on his game. He's going to be a really good basketball player for his team. Bring Binghamton here in a year.
Crawford for 3.
They're getting
Iron,
a steal.
No good.
Binghamton's getting a steal with him.
He stays there, but again, just a commit. Down the lane, Allen gets it knocked away by Miller. Little bit of a gamble there by the big man to not pick up that second foul, but he stops the layup.
I see what's happening now is that, you know, the run has been made by Gonzaga and they push the pace, but now DeMatha is methodically caught up with them. They're pushing their pace now, and they're imposing their will here on this offensive end. Everything is to the basket. No jump shots. Everybody's getting right to the cup.
Just under 45 seconds left to go in the first quarter. DeMatha with the 1-point lead. Allen will take it back up top, and a foul will be called down low. It's going to go on Greenwood, I believe.
Can't take the football out of him. You can't take it out of him.
2 team fouls on Gonzaga, 3 on DeMatha here in just a few seconds left in the first quarter. Garland with the drive. That one acrobatic, almost gets it to go, but a rebound and a putback by Kellen Taylor. Pass down low, and Bruce gets a hand on it. Looked like that was almost going to be DJ Harvey the other way for a layup, then almost a Gonzaga layup.
Absolutely. I mean, now once you break the pressure, that's a great way to contact. I think Dredd should have pulled up for a little jump shot there, something he can make, but he's trying to make the extra pass, so you can't fault him, but the young fella needs to make that shot. You want to put as much pressure on once you break their pressure as you possibly can, and I think that pull-up jump shot gives those 2 other guys a chance to get that offensive rebound, as opposed to taking the ball out of bounds.
Remember, WCAC does use a shot clock, and Likes is going to take the 3 and hit the 3.
Hello, and thank you for viewing this portion of our most recent broadcast. This concludes the free viewing experience for this broadcast. Now, if you're interested in viewing the remainder of this broadcast, well, you can simply click the Add to Cart button located directly below this video where it says Download a Copy. You can also purchase a DVD copy of this broadcast. That DVD will be viewable on both computers and televisions. Now, for those of you that don't know, DMVSTREAM.COM is an independently funded project, meaning that your purchases and pledge of support go a long way in helping us to continue to broadcast live sporting events in the DMV. Thanks for stopping by and for your continued support.